So hi all, welcome to the Java session by Testology. The agenda for today is to talk about introduction to Java. Okay, what is Java? Basically, we will introduce ourselves to Java because it's a very beginning session for this batch. Okay, what is Java used for? The application of Java, how to install Java and JDK, what is the idea IntelliJ and how to install it. Okay, so basically you guys have seen many things being automated, right? Earlier we used to do like entries in the registers manually. Nowadays we have Excel sheets. Then Excel sheets were filled manually, and now Excel sheets are also filled automatically, right? So the manual things are going away, and automation is coming so fast in this world, right? So Java is a programming language. The role of programming language is basically to get the things done in an automated manner from the computer, right? So we will write the programming Java, and computer will get the things done for us. Okay, so that is basic introduction to Java. Java is a programming language. Now what is a language in basic, right? We learn English, right? We have some alphabets in that, A, B, C, D, right? So similarly, we have some keywords, we have some syntax in Java. So programming language, right? So it's a language with a different syntax. Here you will use your knowledge of English, right? To understand this programming language, right? Slowly, it's like you will learn the keywords, you will learn more syntactical things, and you will master in Java. Okay, so let's read some theory first. Okay, what is Java? Java is a cross-platform object-oriented programming language similar to C++. Right now, I don't know that you guys are aware about C++ or not. So basically, first, as a student, I have learned C. Then I read something about C++ because that was a object-oriented programming language. But Java is more popular nowadays than C++. So I jumped from C to C++ then Java. Why? Because C was my first programming language which I learned in college also. Now, why I'm saying I learned? Because it's a step-by-step thing that you have to do, right? Now you don't have to learn C because it's fine. Nowadays you have resources to learn Java directly, and you can simply try to understand in an object-oriented manner. Now we will talk about what is object-oriented manner, so don't worry. So, but with advanced and simplified features, and that was released by Sun Microsystems in the year 1995. Today, Java is needed to run various applications such as games, social media. So it's easy, and it's very, you can say, user friendly. You are going to be the user of Java programming language, so it's pretty much easy to write programs in that. You have very good compiler support. You have very good, I would say, the editor support. Let's say I am using IDEA IntelliJ, right? So it's a very good integrated development environment, right? There is a very good support of IDEs to Java also. Okay, so I will show you what is IDEA IntelliJ. We will talk about that. Okay, so the language is free to access and run on all platforms. Now, when you write a procedure, right? Simply a procedure to make a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, you can just write it in a manner so that any manual user can understand, and it will go to the machine, right, and press the button, and or let's say making it manually, picking up some coffee, and let's say complete manual process is there. Right now there exists a machine also, let's say cafe coffee day, right? There is a program inside that machine. When you press the button, the complete procedure gets followed, right? That procedure is also written by some programmer, right? So what is a procedure? A set of steps, right? So similarly, using the Java programming language, you will write step by step a procedure, a set of instructions that the machine will understand. Okay. So Java is basically object oriented, concurrent, and class based. Okay. Now, what is the meaning of object? Right. So let's think about class first. So we can say a dog is a class. Okay. And what is the object of that dog class? We can say a Labrador, right? Labrador is a dog, right? It has a state, it has a name, right? Labrador, I have a Labrador with name, let's say Bolt. Okay. My Labrador's name is Bolt, or Golden Retriever, okay, or a pug, right? So basically, a class basically is a blueprint. Okay. Let's say you are creating a building, your house, you are building a house, right? So you will create a blueprint for it, a map, right? where you where it will be a generalized thing. Okay. So using that class, more houses can be created, not only just your house, it can be used to create more houses. So object becomes the actual thing, okay, that is built for me. Okay. My house is an object of the class which was used for it. So house becomes a class and object is my actual building that is built for me, right? So basically the properties are part of classes, okay, which are actually used for building an object. Okay. So basically think of like fruits or a fruit is a class, apple is the object. Okay. Now if I say apple is a class, then red apple is a object, Kashmiri apple is a object. Okay. So object oriented means bringing up the real world. Okay. Thinking like a real world in the programming language. Okay. Basically, why do we say that Java is there to solve the real time problems, real world problems? Because it is object oriented. Everything in this world which exists in front of you is an object of some class. Okay. A coffee machine might be a class. Okay. Or a machine might be a class, and a coffee machine might be an object. Okay. So why coffee machine? Because machine has a name, coffee machine. Okay. So just think of a class in a very generic manner of which the objects are created. So fruit is a class, apple is the object. And if we say apple is a class, then Kashmiri apple, Shimla apple, right? The objects always have the properties, okay, in real life, right? If you see any apple, it will have size, it will have a shape, right? So just think of object as a pen that you are holding right now. Okay, that is an object, okay, of class pen. Fine. So we will talk more about object oriented things. Don't worry. Now, why do we say concurrent? Okay. Concurrent, where you can execute many statements instead of sequentially executing it. Okay. So many statements, I would say parallelly. Okay. Parallel. Fine. So, parallelly, you can execute the things using Java programming language. Now, parallel execution means you are performing some calculations. Okay. So one program you will write to perform the addition of some numbers mentioned in the Excel sheet. Okay. So your program will go to the directory where basically you have stored the Excel sheet. It will open it, it will read the numbers, it will perform the addition. Okay, this is your one program. Your another program is to open a website, okay, and click on the login button and place a order on the shopping website. Okay, that is your separate program. So two parallel executions of the program is happening and that is happening with the help of Java programming language. So you can write two separate programs and execute them parallelly. Okay, so multitasking now comes into picture. So yes, you can achieve multitasking with Java. Okay, so I'll correct this spelling. Okay, so basically Java is a multitasking programming language. You can do multitasking with Java. Fine. Class based. I just mentioned a pen that you are holding right now is an object of class pen. Okay. That pen that you are holding is the object, and it will have a name, let's say cello gripper or pinpoint, right? So, or Parker, right? So the pen is having a class. Okay, the Parker is having a class pen, or cello gripper is having a class pen, right? So basically class based, you can bring into the classes that you see around yourself, okay, and create the objects in the programming language. Now these will be virtual objects, okay. So don't think you can create like the real world objects. It's like virtual objects, so that the calculations, the modifications that are needed virtually, you can perform in your machine, and you can just create the automation to get the things done, right? So a lot of things we will learn going forward. It's like class based and object oriented. We will do it practically. We will try to learn these things. Okay, now independent programming language that follows the logic of write once, run anywhere. So basically, why do we call platform independent a programming language that is called as platform independent? Is it just a phrase? You might have heard in your college time that a programming language is like platform independent. So I heard this many times until I learned a C programming language, or Java. I was not aware. I was using .NET, right? So earlier .NET C Sharp, it was not platform independent. Now what does a platform means? Platform means the underlying operating system in a very basic manner. Okay, Mac operating system, Linux operating system, Unix operating system, Windows operating system. So these are different platforms, right? They have their own runtime environment. Fine. So you will write earlier. I'll tell you what happened earlier in let's say in 2005, right? Or 2010, right? So I write a code in .NET programming language or any platform dependent programming language, so that the code will run only on that operating system, which is supported by the programming language. Okay. So basically, let's say C Sharp. Now C Sharp has become platform independent, we can say, because the .NET core is being introduced and it is being used on Linux also. So you can write a code and run your program in .NET core on Linux operating system. So nowadays we can call .NET programming languages also platform independent, but Java is from beginning, it can run on, it can be written only once. Just write one program that will run on Mac OS, or let's say Linux, Windows or Unix. Fine. So it's platform independent. Now, what is Java used for? I told you, right? It has many applications. So we can say banking, retail sector, information technology, Android, financial services, stock market, big data, scientific and research community. So it's growing day by day. If any other programming language that is coming into market, it doesn't mean that the growth of Java is stopped. Okay, so you can see the versions of Java come in every 2 years, at least one version of Java is released, right? So we will see what is the latest version of Java also. Okay, so now the applications we have seen. Now next, what we can do, let's write one simple Java program, right? So enough like theory. So let me open IDEA IntelliJ. Okay, so what is IDEA IntelliJ? Now, before I open this, I'll tell you about this. Okay, I write code in Java. Okay, but can I write it in Notepad? Yes, I can. I can simply open a Notepad. I can simply say, you know, I can simply say, hello world program can be written. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just say public static, very simple Java program, public static void main, and I'll say string arguments. Fine, and I'll just say, okay, so system dot out dot println, and I'll say hello world. Fine. I can compile this code in this notepad. Okay. I'll comment everything this out. There is a way to comment this code. Okay. I will comment this so that this will not be considered while compilation. Okay. I will simply use this code and I can print hello world on the console. Okay. So you can write the code for Java in a very simple notepad also. That is why there was a time when people used to just simply write the code in notepad and there were no helpers like IDEA, IntelliJ or Eclipse. Okay. And there are many other integrated development environments which are used. Let's say NetBeans, right? You must have heard about NetBeans also. So basically these tools like IDEA, IntelliJ, Eclipse or NetBeans, these are the helpers that help you in writing code very fast. Okay, you don't have to remember all the syntax, right? Java has many libraries created. Now, what is a library? Library is basically a package that contains already ready-made code. Okay, now if I want to remove the stars, right, these asterisks from this string, right, I can do it with automation and I will simply use the function that is called as remove. Okay, which is already written for me in the Java libraries. Okay, so it will be simply string dot remove. What is my string? This is my string. Okay, string dot remove asterisks. Okay, or we can say replace, right? So basically replace. What will you do with it? Okay, after removing. So it is the function that is replace. Okay, so I can simply copy this, paste here, and I can call this function in my Java program. Okay. And what I will get at the end, www.testology.in. Okay. So basically libraries contain the code which is already written and you can reutilize it. Okay. So reuse the code is the basically reuse of code is basically promoted by these libraries which are present in JDK. Okay. Now what is JDK? Java Development Kit. Okay. So we will talk about that in future. Don't worry. Okay. So let me just introduce you to this IDEA IntelliJ. It is a very good tool. Okay. So I think already opened it. So I'll just go here. Okay, so I'll go to the website of this because we are going to use in our sessions this integrated development environment and it is very easy to use. You can do the Git things also from this integrated development environment. Okay, so basically you can pull the code from GitHub like a remote repository that we use. Okay, you can push the code to the remote repository. You can execute commands from this IDE IntelliJ. Okay, so basically the IDE that makes development, I'm not promoting IDE IntelliJ, so don't worry. I have used it. It's a new world IDE as compared to Eclipse because I like using it, and you guys can also start using it, or you can just compare. Like as of now, you are using Eclipse. There are very like a lot of shortcuts available in this development tool. Okay, and you can install it freely. Community edition is available. Okay, so we'll see the advantages of IDEA IntelliJ, and you guys can also use Eclipse There is no harm in that, but we are going to use IDE IntelliJ. Okay. So yeah, there is a question in the chat window, which is better. Okay. So I would say Eclipse is kind of old school, right? IDE IntelliJ is kind of new. So new might be a better from user point of view, right? But sometimes there are efficiency issues. Okay, so old school is always having efficiency because it has experience of having the users, right? IDEA IntelliJ is, I would not say like recently launched, but it is also having a good user, like we can say user experience. So try it out. I would say you will basically learn uh, by comparing Eclipse and IDEA IntelliJ. So it's up to you. Do you like it or not? Because many people are there which are using Eclipse and many people are using IDEA IntelliJ. So it's up to you. I am a IDEA IntelliJ user. Okay. So yeah, which one is easy? People are asking on the chat window. So it's up to you. As I mentioned, it's up to you. You can simply install it and use it. I find it very easy from a beginner point of view also, but it's up to you. You are able to learn or not. Okay. So try it, try Eclipse, try IDEA IntelliJ. We will just today talk about IDEA IntelliJ. So you can go to the website, you can click on the download button. Okay. And there is a version that you need to select. Okay, so you want to install on Windows, you want to install on Mac OS, you want to install on Linux. Okay, so we will talk about Windows. Then we have Community Edition that you should download because it's free. So you can click on this download button, right? I already have downloaded the IDEA IntelliJ and installed on my machine, so I will not you know do the download and installation again. It's very easy to install, don't worry. It's just like a exe application. You just have to press next, next, next. Okay, and finally it will get installed. Okay, so let me open it now and show you how easy it is to write the code. Okay, so it might take a minute to open. Okay, so until that we can go to our Java reference document. So we create this document and keep on updating this basically as new features or as new queries are discussed. Okay, so talking about more like Java is case sensitive, class names, example method names. So there are standard practices that you need to follow while writing the code. Okay, now this suggestion is for experienced members who are on this call and for the beginners also. You need to follow some standards while writing the variable names or any syntax that you write in Java. Okay, any keyword or anything that you are writing, because it makes your code look good, right? It makes your code more readable, so that the code that you are writing, it's not always only for you. Just remember this thing. If you are working in a team, then your code is for everybody, and make it so efficient and user friendly so that others find it easy to use. Okay, otherwise others will always change your code and try to make it more easy. Okay, so make it generic, make it easy to read, make it easy to understand. Okay, that is a good practice. Always promote it. Okay, so yeah, it's just opening. So what I'll do, I'll create a new project. I'll not open this project, I'll cancel this. Let me try this. Okay, so until my idea IntelliJ starts, I will tell you about Java installation. Okay, so you can simply go to the dev.java. Okay, you can install Java first. Okay, download Java 19. Okay, and you have this download Java at oracle.com. Okay, and then basically you have this Windows selection here, right? and you have this installation available, like installer is available or MSI file. So you can choose any of them, right? You can select this bin.exe file. Okay, it will install the JDK for you. Okay, there are two things, those are basically needed for compilation and execution of program. Okay, so the JDK and JRE are two things, so we will talk about them. We have them in this course. Okay, so it's very important to understand what is JDK, JRE and JVM. So basically JRE, that is Java Runtime Environment. Okay, this is needed to execute the code. Okay, and development tools and everything, it comes under JDK. Earlier, JDK and JRE, these two things were different. Nowadays JDK includes everything. Okay, nowadays JDK will include JRE also and development tools also. Okay, so Java Development Kit, it basically known as, okay, JDK equals to JRE plus development tool, and JRE equals to JVM plus library classes. So basically Java virtual machine, JDK, these are some terms which are related to the core thing, right? JDK equals to Java development kit, which provides the environment to develop and execute the code. Okay, the Java program. JDK is a kit of packages, right, which includes two things: development tools, okay, and JRE, okay, to execute your program. So when we say that Java is platform independent, it means JRE can be installed on Windows, JRE can be installed on Linux, and JRE can be installed on Mac OS. Okay, so once JRE is installed, okay, then Java program can be executed. Java runtime environment is an installation package which provides an environment to only run, not develop the Java program. Okay, so remember this. It's an interview question, that can you like develop a program when only JRE is installed on your machine? So you can say no, right? It's just for running the program. Okay, so like JRE is an installation package which provides an environment to only run your Java program, not to develop. Okay, so JRE alone is not enough to perform the development of using Java on your machine. Basically you will need JDK and JRE both. Okay, so you can read this. Okay, I think my idea IntelliJ is started now, so let me close this. Let me create a fresh project for you. Okay, new project, and we will create a simple Java project. Okay, not a difficult one, very simple Java project. And once you guys install the IDE IntelliJ, it will look like this. Okay, so don't worry about the code written on my machine. Everything that you see on my screen, you will be able to understand once you get some experience with us. Okay, so let's create on this file option, then select new, and the project. Okay, just a minute. This is the project option. Okay, then now we will click on this Java option. Okay, very simple. I'm using Java 11 because it's a LTS, long time support version of Java. I will click on next button. Fine. I will again click on next button. Now you see project name. Project name is basically the name of the project, right? That you are creating. Inside the project, you will have classes, you will have some resources, right? It will be a space which will be allocated to your programs that you are going to write. So it is a scope, right? Project is basically a scope of your code. So now we will give it a name. So we can say 2022, but let's say demo session December 2022. So it's also considered as a good practice to give small letters name to the project name. So it's considered as a good practice. So we'll give the name in small letters. Okay, we'll say finish. Okay, so it is asking me to open the project in new window or in this window. So I'll say new window. Okay, so now I have two windows of IDEA IntelliJ open. Okay, this is my another window. So I'll just open it for you. So you see, this is the project menu that you can see on the left side. Okay, now this is idea folder, then this is source. Now, when you create a project, it looks like this. Fine. And it is asking me to just mention that which version of language I want to use. I want to use it like 11 only. So I will say okay. Okay. Fine. Now I will right click on this source folder and I will say new and a Java class. Okay. So I will say demo. Fine. And the class name should start with a capital letter always because it's a class name. Fine. So I have a class name demo and basically it's a dot class file. Fine. Now, not a dot class. Let me just show you in the Explorer. Show in the Explorer. So when you compile it, currently it's a .java programming file. Fine, demo.java. When you compile this Java file, then it gets converted into a class file. Okay. So first of all, let's write a very simple program. As I mentioned, public static void main. Okay. And inside this, I will say string args. Okay. And the square brackets for mentioning the arguments array. Okay. Then I will say s out. Okay. There is a shortcut. Now, even there is a shortcut to write the main function. So I'll backspace this. I will cut this. I will just say main. I'll press tab. Okay. Now my main function is ready. So this is a shortcut. Benefit of using IDEA IntelliJ, there are many shortcuts that you can use. Okay, so I just written main here, main, and press tab, and my main function is ready. Fine. Now I will say s out system dot out dot println. So what I did, I simply written here s out tab, press tab. Fine. I'll now print on the console hello world. Okay, so do you see, guys, these integrated development environments, these tools make our life easy. I just have to write main and my main function will be automatically created here. Okay, I just have to write s out and press tab, and my system.out.println is automatically mentioned here. Okay, so it's like these tools are there to help you out to write the program quickly. Okay, so I will say now hello testology. Fine. Now, why I am writing a very simple program? Because we assume that you guys are beginners or restarting at some point to like go into the field of automation, right? So our job is to cover up all the kind of members who are beginners, who are experienced, so that experienced members can refresh their knowledge and beginners can learn from beginning. Okay, so that is why we are taking this very simple program. Okay, let me uh, run this. Now there is a play button here, right? So let's click this run button. Basically we call it as a run button. So let's run this program. Let's see what happens on this console. Okay, when I clicked on this button, Now it's building the program. So what happens when this program is typed on the editor? Then when we try to run this, first we have to build it. Okay, so that to check, are there any errors in this syntax? If there are any errors in the syntax, the program build will fail. Okay, so currently the program build passed. What happened? We tried to print on the console hello world. Okay, so hello world and hello testology on the next line. Okay, so basically what does this program means? There is a class file. Okay, basically a class, a demo class, which contains a procedure to print on screen hello world and hello testology. Okay, and how do we print these things? So steps, these are the steps, these are the instructions of printing something on the console, on the screen, right? So these steps always go inside a function. What is a function here? A function is main function here. Okay, you see these curly braces. Okay, and before that we have the signature of this function. Okay, so this is a main function which is performing this operation of printing hello world and hello testology. Okay, so public is the scope of this function, static is the access specifier. Basically the main function is the beginning point of any program. Okay, and the projects where there is no main function, internally there always exists a main function. Okay, so main function is the starting point of program execution. So whenever you will try to run your execute your project, first this main function will be called. Okay, so you can write more functions. So we can say public uh, integer add. Okay, add two numbers. Now you guys see I have written like small a and then TOW. So T is capital. So it's a good practice to write like this. It's called as camel kissing. Okay. So camel kissing is used for the methods. Now I'll not go in many details. Okay. So I'll just say 1 plus 2 and I'll just simply I'll not even return anything. I'll not write any complex program so that you guys don't get confused. Okay, and we will simply print addition of two numbers on our screen. So as out, fine, press tab. Even I can write manually. Okay, so system dot out dot println, a very simple program to show the addition of two numbers. I will say 2 plus 3. Fine, 2 plus 3 5. It should get printed on our screen after hello testology. Okay, but are we calling this function anywhere? So you see this is a gray. Okay, so I'll make it static. So I told you static is the access specifier. Static things can be used inside the static scope. So this is our static scope. So I can call this function now, add two numbers. Okay, so let's run this program. I will click on this button. So you can run this main function by clicking on this run button or this class run button. Okay, so we should see 5 on our console now. Okay, what is console? Console is basically a screen, right? Like you have a mobile screen, right? Mobile screen is having many styles applied, but console is very basic. Okay, so on the console right now 5 is printed. So basically this is very easy to like write a program in IDEA, IntelliJ or any tool that helps you in writing quick program. Okay, and it was very easy to print these two things, right? And to show you the addition of two numbers, right? So you see how easy it is to write the code, and it's not difficult. So don't worry, don't be afraid of writing the code. You can do it, right? And we will help you in learning automation in using Selenium, using many Java related tools. And one day you might be a good automation engineer or a DevOps engineer or wherever you want to go, like from the point of starting the programming and reaching a master level. Okay, thank you guys for joining today. It was all of it. Okay, I have informed you about like how to install JDK, how to install Java, how to install IDE and IntelliJ, and what is Java. So we have spoke about this. Thank you for joining today's session. Thank you for joining Testology. Let's have a quick Q&A session now. Okay.